Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As you can tell from my channel, I love sim racing. I also do some IRL karting as often as I can, down at my local team sport and more recently with Global Karting League. So far it's been recreational, but I'd love to participate in a full season at some point and see where I can place in the championship. I've been looking into options for these and the prices can be eye-watering. There are generally two categories of championships available, Arrive and Drive and Owners Karting Series. Arrive and Drive is generally cheaper because you don't have to own your own kart. Things like maintenance, tyres and fuel are all taken care of, so as the name suggests, you just arrive and drive. Arrive and Drive series somewhat level the playing field and make the emphasis on driver's ability as everybody is working with pretty much the same hardware. Owner-driver championships are more expensive because, as well as owning your own kart, you'll need to have all the equipment and tyres for the season. The advantage here is that you can only drive your own kart, so you can make the setup suitable for your driving style within the parameters of the series. You can also take it to a track for more practice outside of the series schedule. One disadvantage though is that drivers with more financial backing are able to put more money into different types of chassis, engines and upgrades, so they stand more chance of being competitive. Both types have their pros and cons, and while Arrive and Drive championships are generally cheaper, ultimately it's a pretty expensive hobby however you choose to approach it. Let's take a look at the different prices for some karting series in each category. Note, the prices I'm quoting exclude travel, accommodation, race suits, helmets and other peripherals. This is just the cost to participate in the championship. We'll start with Club 100. Club 100 is a competitive Arrive and Drive league that has seen drivers like Lewis Hamilton and Super GT compete. The championship is made up of 10 race weekends, but before you can race you'll need to be approved. To get approved, Club 100 hosts Academy Days. The Academy Day consists of 4 10-minute sessions which the drivers can use to get to grips with the kart in a pressure-free environment. There's a one-off £50 registration fee and each race round costs £262. Club 100 recommends you do some karting at your local track to learn the basics before you join, so that's something to bear in mind as well. Assuming after that you'll need to do 2 academy sessions before you're ready to race, that would cost another £360. Because we want to be as competitive as possible, let's say we do all 16 open practice sessions. That will be another £3,584. This brings us to a total of £6,619 for a season. Another popular Arrive and Drive series is Global Karting League, previously known as Total Karting Zero. Global Karting League describes themselves as an affordable pathway to the top of motorsports for drivers aged 6 to 17. Each practice session costs £195 and race sessions cost £295. There are 9 rounds in the championship. Global Karting runs practice sessions on the Saturday before the race. If I do both AM and PM practice sessions every race, then it will cost £3,510. All 9 rounds of the Rookie Championship would cost another £2,655. I say Rookie Championship because in Global Karting League there's a Rookie Championship and the National Championship. The Rookie Championship is for drivers new to Global Karting. You'll use these rookie races to get used to the kart and format, and then you'll be moved up to the National Championship. Global Karting expects drivers to do at least 3 rookie races before they're ready for the National Championship. In the National Championship, only your top 7 race results count in the championship. Best case scenario, it would take me 3 rookie races to move up to the National Championship. By that time, there would only be 6 races left, so I wouldn't be able to compete, but I could use those final 6 races to get you to the National Championship. I've done a couple sessions with them already, so they know me a little, and when I asked about pricing questions for the series, they said that I could do the 6 national races for practice and it would be good because I'm so much younger than most people racing there. But they also said that I can stay in the rookie a bit longer so I can compete further up the order if I wanted to. It is worth noting that there are 3 seasons a year in the Rookie Championship. Each are 3 rounds, so in total there are 9 race rounds a year. Total price for both AM and PM practice sessions before the race and all 9 rounds of the Rookie Championship would cost £6,165. Now we'll look at the price for an owner-driver championship. The Daniel Ricciardo series. F1 driver Daniel Ricciardo has its own karting league. There is also an Arrive and Drive series such as for people aged 8 to 13. This is different to the owner-driver series, so I won't include it in the pricing. In order to compete in it, you'll have to pass the basic driving test and buy the cars. You'll also have to do some academy sessions so they can see your ability. When you buy the cart, you'll be invited to the factory to get your seat fitting, and they'll explain how to maintain the cart. To start with, you'll need to buy the cart. Including VAT, it's about £6,000. The season registration is another £295. The price of race entries, sprocket, chain, oil and tyres for the season is another £4,224. Then you'll need a cart trolley, battery charger, transponder, steering wedge and the screen for the steering wheel. That will be another £1,345. Assuming you're doing all 8 rounds, 3 of them being wet, that will be another £1,123 for wet tyres. You need to service the engine every 8 hours of use. A top-end rebuild, which is a new piston ring, honing the cylinder if required, replacing reed valves and refreshing the gasket, costs £360 including VAT. A full rebuild basically does the whole engine and costs £900 including VAT. Let's say I do 8 hours of karting every 2 weeks. I would need to alternate between a full rebuild and a top-end rebuild, so for one season it would cost another £8,820. Testing is about £90 per session. If I do an owner karting day at the track before every race, that would be another £720. So in total it would cost £22,525. Keep in mind that in addition to the costs mentioned, you still have to factor in travel to the various circuits, accommodation and food. But money is not the only consideration here. If you have siblings who participate in extracurricular activities or parents with a social life, making time for practice and the races can be challenging too. As it happens, this year I haven't had much opportunity to get to the track. I had 3 sessions with GKL between January and April, but other than that, my track time this year has primarily been on the sim. When I did get a chance to visit my local team sport a couple weeks ago, I was surprised to discover that I had improved. So I'm very familiar with this circuit and I've been going there for a few years now, so I expected that I would be back up to speed after a warm-up session or 2. However, from the first session I was on it, pace and consistency, and it got better with each session. I found this fascinating because for almost 5 months, with the exception of 3 sessions I mentioned earlier, I've only been on the simulator using titles like AC, R-Factor 2 and F123. So it got me wondering how possible it would be to train effectively for a karting season primarily on the simulator, and I'm going to try and put this to the test. Here's how I plan to do it. I found a number of karting tracks in the UK that are also available in simulators. For now I'll be using R-Factor. I've bought a KartSim DLC with some British karting tracks and karts, but there are also tracks on Assetto Corsa and other karting games as well. For half the tracks I'll do a baseline track day to get a reference. Then I'll do a few weeks of regular practice on the simulator to try and master the track layout and get a sense for how I should attack each corner. Then I'll go back to the same track for a final test day and see how competitive and consistent I can be with the track times for that kart and circuit. I'll practice in the dry and wet conditions so that I can compare no matter what the weather. As a control for the effectiveness on the simulator training, I will train exclusively on the simulator for the other half of the tracks and only visit the circuit for the first time on the final test day. This is to see if the sim improved my times or if it's just memory from the real life karting experience. So that we can see this, I'll be comparing my lap times to other people at the track. In F1, I'm usually top 20% on the time trial leaderboard, which is about 1.5 to 2.5 seconds off the top times. At my global karting race, I was about a second off the top times, and at Team Sport I'm about 2 to 7 tenths off the pace. We can use this as a reference to see how much the sim helps. It's not an exact science, but it should give a decent indication of how effective simulators are for training. But that's only part of it. It's often said, I know from experience, that karting is one of the hardest motorsports to simulate, because most of the feedback comes through the seat. Handling and speed is also exceptionally influenced by other factors, like the height and weight of drivers, shifting your weight through corners, and even wind speeds. No simulation is perfect, yet, but I will also be exploring ways to make an affordable yet immersive simulator. Note that affordable is relative. This is compared to the average cost of a weekly karting session over a period of 1 year for both owning your own kart and arrive and drive karting. I'll be looking into solutions like haptic feedback options, comparing VR to single and triple monitor setups, and if I can, try out a motion rig to see how impactful that is to replicate the real world experiences. I'm so excited for this series and I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to like and subscribe so you get notified when the next video comes out, and I'll see you in the next one.